Welcome to One on One. I'm Greg Bassey, your host from the Salisbury Independent newspaper, and it's a big day here at PAC 14. We've got our mayor in the house, Jake Day. Welcome.
Thank you so much, Greg. I appreciate you having me here.
Now, I'm one of those guys, when you got elected, I'm like, yeah, he's got a lot of energy, and yeah, we'll see. Let's see if he does anything. Well, dude, you are doing stuff. What are you doing? You just had your big State of the City speech, and the list was like, I got tired listening to it. You're...
Well, my apologies.
No, I got tired thinking about all the effort that's gone into all the stuff that we've done in just a year.
Well, I'll admit I'm tired too. It's been a busy year.
Give me your list a little bit. What are you thinking here?
Sure, it's been a busy year, and I have focused a lot of my energy on some internal things. You know, the organization. We had a morale problem. We had a management problem in terms of the city of Salisbury. There was just a lot of things were being missed. I'm not sure we knew how to set goals and then work toward them and achieve them and measure our progress. So we've instituted a new management system called Result SBY. This is a process that aligns goals, and we did a public goal setting session.
Right.
This aligns our goals with our budget, with our internal operations, and slowly, and we started this past year, but slowly we're going to be changing the structure of our organization to align to our goals. That's something that I think is important. And so we also have instituted a lot of accountability in that sense. So we measure progress toward goals, and each department head has 3 to 6 that they're measuring and that they have to report on constantly in a very sort of I don't want to say public, but in a public way.
It's done publicly. I feel like I know what their tasks are and what they have to get done.
And in our new website that'll be up in January, you will see all of our performance indicators. We're not the first city to do that. You think of CityStat in New York, that predated and ultimately became a CityStat program in Baltimore. It was very popular by then Mayor Martin O'Malley. That turned into StateStat and other things. But I think what we recognize is that we're using it not only as a way to determine who should be in what position, because it was very much a tool used to fire people who shouldn't be in the jobs they were in. But we're using it not only for accountability purposes, but also just to be able to publicly track our progress. So that's been a big piece. Morale, customer service improvements, customer service training. Those are things that we're working on internally. Externally, you name it. I think because we're doing a better job watching what's going on and measuring it and working toward our goals, we're doing a better job toward achieving those goals. So from an economic development standpoint, this is really one of the best times in our history. We're for the first time in our history in the top 50 fastest growing job markets in America. From September 2015, we just got these numbers. Bureau of Labor Statistics just put this out. From September 2015 to September 2016, we were the second fastest growing job market in America. Number 2, Idaho Falls, and then us. And that was about 4.54% job growth in our metro area, which is stunning. I mean, we've never, ever in our history grown like that. So we're adding jobs at a fantastic rate. We've passed peak employment. We have more jobs now than we've ever had before. We've got 3,200 jobs available right now in Salisbury, so there's a lot of jobs open. Unemployment has dropped in those same figures that just came out from BLS. We got 4.6% percent unemployment in the metro area. I mean, these are good things. And simultaneously, we've experienced, and I think by December 31st, I'm going to be able to say that this was the lowest number of Part 1 crimes on record, which would be the past 30 years. We've got 31 years of data, so the lowest year for Salisbury. And that's a good thing. That's a good thing. The first time under 2,000 Part 1 crimes since the 80s.
And the Part 1 crimes are the badder crimes.
The very bad crimes.
Right.
So everything from homicide down to theft.
Right.
So even even a theft from motor vehicle or shoplifting is a Part 1 crime.
What stuns me is how much energy there is with downtown, but with events. As someone who puts events in the paper every week, I'm amazed at how much is going on here. No one can ever say there's nothing to do in Salisbury. There's always something fun going on.
But hasn't that always been a critique of Salisbury? Like, there's nothing going on.
Yeah, we'll go to the
This
beach.
Sleepy, slow, small town,
Yeah.
right? Well, I mean, we're not a small town anymore. We're the 136th largest metro area in America. That's not, we're not New York, we're not, Baltimore, we're not Philadelphia, but we've got something going on, and that includes some of the beaches. I mean, they are part of our economy and part of our community. But locally, one of the things that we found to be really important is a focus on arts and entertainment and culture. And that includes food and drink and all of these things. And I love, and I've got to address it, but I love one of the critiques that we often hear, which is, put another restaurant downtown. That's real good jobs. Well, first of all, it's not bad jobs, it's jobs.
Yeah.
But more importantly, it's not about the jobs created there. It's about the contribution that makes in terms of creating a high quality of life and opportunity and culture. And that is what attracts talent. And in today's economic pattern, the way that places grow and thrive is that talent chooses where they want to live based on quality of life. And upon that decision is what firms do to determine where they're going to locate. They are following talent. It's not the other way around anymore. People, of course, people move for jobs all the time, but the trend is that talent is determining where they want to work, or where they want to live before where they want to work. So they're getting to choose, hey, this is the community that we want to be in because we like these characteristics about this place, whether that's some hip part of Baltimore or Brooklyn or whatever, but more likely, and increasingly, places like Asheville and Greenville and Chattanooga and Salisbury and Frederick and Charlottesville and these small cities that can offer really high quality of life. And so we've invested in arts and entertainment in a new way. We've contracted with the Arts and Entertainment District Committee Incorporated, which is a state sanctioned nonprofit, and we've contracted with them to provide a service for the city of Salisbury, and that service is entertainment. And so we've got a calendar of events: third Fridays, first Saturdays, this new Fridays at 5, which kind of fills the gaps.
Yeah.
Basically, so that any Friday,
low key thing, it's
low
fun.
key, any Friday, you at 5 o'clock in temperate season,
Right.
walk outside and something's going on.
Yeah.
That there's something to be said for that, and it's intended to complement the small business community. And what we've seen is, third Fridays are the best nights of the month for restaurants. They are the New Year's Eve and Small Business Saturdays are the best retail days of the year for small retailers downtown. This is good for small business. So the more enthusiasm we can create, the more energy we can create, the more people we can attract, and the better those businesses are likely to do.
Yeah, just the events just in the last 2 weeks. So you have Winter Wonderland, and you're at that thing, you're like, this is a cool town. And then you go down to see the boats, like, this is really cool. And then this weekend it's going to be the lighting of the tree
That's
downtown,
right.
which is a great event.
Yeah.
And then the Christmas parade is on. I mean, all these opportunities to feel really good about your community through these events and getting with people, running into people meeting new friends.
right.
You just get a whole good vibe.
And this Friday, you mentioned the Christmas tree lighting at 5 o'clock. We'll also unveil one of our new
Your art thing.
transformers.
Yeah.
That's right. So we've got a public art program in concert with the Arts and Entertainment District. And so one of the small things that we're doing is painting all the transformers downtown. I want to get the one that's right in front of the mayor's parking spot. I want to get that one painted. But Delmarva Power is getting ready to replace it.
Okay.
So soon. We're going to unveil a new one. We're going to keep doing that. And then we're going to soon invest in more of the Core 10 steel sculptures and continue other public art projects throughout the core.
And of course, the visitor center downtown, that's been a big hit.
The visitor center has been a big hit. We have over 200 people visit a month. I'm not sure what the right goal is there yet, but the metric has been visitors, people who walk through the doors. We've had a lot of people willing to volunteer there, so we're going to start opening it with volunteers at times, and that allows our business development specialist, who is located there, as well as our Arts and Entertainment District
Laura
Executive Director,
Korjakowski
Laura
and
Korjakowski
Jamie
and
Heater.
Jamie Heater,
Yeah.
to do what they need to do in addition to staffing the visitor center.
Right.
We've had a lot of volunteers wanting to do it, and so we've actually been opening it Saturday hours. We have a great employee in the mayor's office, Nancy Talbot, and Nancy actually goes on Saturdays and opens the visitor center. She wants to, and that's just been a desire of hers, so we let her do that.
Yeah, I was walking to the deli the other day and walked by and looked in the window, and the women weren't there, and I was disappointed because I look forward to that vibe, to that connecting with Salisbury through them.
They're a lot of fun.
Yeah,
They're a
yeah.
lot, there's fun people that want to hang, and Laura has done a great job making it more than, say, just a visitor center where you'd come and get information. She's got games. We've got cornhole, hula hoop contests, paper airplane contests. We've also got a lot of Salisbury gear that you can buy.
Right,
there.
that's
'Cause
important.
we did the rebranding
Yeah.
of Salisbury, or branding of Salisbury. I'm not sure
Yeah,
it's a
it's
rebranding.
branding, yeah.
I'm not sure we ever really invested in that at any point in our history. And right now, if you shop at any other downtown establishment, any other small business, and bring your receipt, you can get 30% off our calendars, our 2016, 2017 calendars.
Your videos have been amazing. As someone who is supposed to be the arbiter of news, and you're supposed to tell me the news, and then I tell the people, it's always disappointing when the subject goes directly to the public and does it in such a great, dynamic way. But your videos,
Well, I'm here begging forgiveness. That's why I came, Greg.
your videos are so cool. The first one I remember was the Walk Salisbury event, but you've spawned in some more. You even had a Thanksgiving one for employee. Tell me about your videos. How did you get the idea to do that?
So we've had a couple people who are in marketing in the area recommend that we do that, and we kind of saw the value, but it seemed daunting. And what we've learned is turn on the iPhone and start talking.
And walk around.
And it's that easy.
Right.
And yes, it is that easy right now. The production quality may not be the best, but we've added some equipment. We've actually
looks good to me.
We've got some equipment.
Yeah.
The Thanksgiving one is a little better, and also, frankly, there's some free tools out there that help you stabilize video.
Yeah.
So when we're walking, the first ones, I think it was me kind of bopping around, and later it was stabilized. So I think it's a technique, but it's one of the layers of communication that I think help us be more transparent. It doesn't eliminate the need for, I think, working with the media. It doesn't eliminate the need for going through a neutral party or a neutral medium for public consumption of information. But it allows us to be direct and say, maybe it's something like a Thanksgiving message that nobody wants to put that in their paper or the television. That's just a kind of direct-to-consumer message. And there were two messages. I had one to my employees and one to the public, thanking the employees. But that's something we've done internally as well, and the public hasn't seen much of that. Is sending video messages.
You did the one you were at camp with your Army commitment, and there was I forget what the crisis was, but you addressed the crisis remarkably well.
I was away, and there was the Baton Rouge shooting,
Right.
and the Dallas shooting.
Right.
There was.
So there's the focus on the police.
Yeah,
Yeah.
And it felt to me like there was an immediate need for correspondence with my employees and with our police officers.
Yeah.
And there was no way to achieve that from afar.
It would have been, well, the mayor's gone. Who knows where the mayor is? He's out of town again.
Sure.
And you were able to put yourself back in town and get back into those guys' heads.
Right. And that's what I wanted to do.
Yeah.
And I could have sent an email without a video, but it felt like something I needed to look people and do my best. And it was,
Right.
it was a terrible videos.
Well, you're in
self-facing.
your barrack.
I was in my office and up at Aberdeen Proving Ground.
Okay.
But yeah, I mean, I think it provides a tool that we didn't have before, where you can see my face, you can see my emotions, you can read what I'm saying and whether or not you believe it, because you can look at me and say, I don't believe that, or I do believe that.
My favorite capital spending thing was approved just at a recent meeting for the standpipe.
This is one of my favorites too. It really is.
It's so silly,
I
but it's an example of, for years, complained about it, and we don't have any money for that, and it's too much trouble.
Yep.
And you're just getting it done.
I've been fighting it for a while, fighting for it for
Yeah.
a while, and so it's finally going to happen. But what's really cool is we're going to put the logos on it. We're going to uplight it. It's going to be. I think it has the potential, and I think it will. I think it's got the potential to be an icon for Salisbury. And it doesn't make a great icon as a rusty old pipe right now.
Right.
So I think it will be a lot better when it's white with our SPY logo on there and the the swoosh as we call it, and some uplighting. So that added to the technical aspects of it, but we thought it was like a $175,000 project. Ended up being a lot less than that.
Like 115.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we actually ended up saving money and achieving more. I say saving money. We ended up spending less than we thought we would and achieving more than we thought we could.
Historically, lots of drama in room 301. There's been less, but lately there's been a little bit. One that I want to try to make into drama,
Sure.
and it's probably not, and that is you maybe shook up the top administration a little bit. Your city administrator is going to Public Works,
Right.
and you're looking for a new city administrator.
That's right. So the announcement I think goes out today. Look for it in the Salisbury Independent. Look for it in.
My favorite newspaper.
Of course, mine too. So you can read it in a variety of places, but the job is the Chief Operating Officer and Chief Administrative Officer of the City of Salisbury. It is a critically important job, and I think it has been done exceptionally well by Tom Stevenson. He's been my partner, and
You guys have a real rapport.
we really appreciate one another. He has some really innate skills that I've learned from. One of which is he is a true champion of his people. He is exceptionally and almost to a flaw empathetic.
Yeah.
He is almost to a flaw humble. He takes a phone call and is always compassionate and on your side. It could be, there's construction going on in front of my house and, I'm tired of it, make it stop. And he is on your side and he wants to make it stop. And,
Right.
He's going to internally fight to make things move faster for you. And he's just he's a good man.
Yeah.
So he's been here 28
Yeah.
years, which, given that he will essentially fill the role of, it's slightly different, but will essentially fill the role of somebody who's been here 50 years,
Right.
Howard Landon. It's kind of incredible.
Howard's a good guy.
Yes,
Yeah.
and Howard has given 50 years.
Yeah.
It's incredible
Yeah.
to this city. And there's a lot of experience over at the City Service Center. But the thing that we recognized, one was, Tom came to me, and Tom and Julie and I had lunch before I took office.
This is Julie Glantz, the
Julie
assistant.
Glantz, the assistant city administrator. We had lunch before I took office, and Tom said that this was something that he would like me to consider. What we recognized was over time was Tom still felt that this was a better use of his skills, and the more I found that trash on the street or the river looking bad or the Riverwalk needing attention or downtown needing attention or the park needing something or all those things that come with just polishing the city, he's the man for that.
Now, Julia, who, when you look at her resume, would give absolutely no indication that she would be very good at this job, except she's one of the smartest people you'll ever meet.
Yeah.
And I am so impressed with her. I can't believe how good she is and and this is no slight on her, I'm just really impressed with Julia Glantz.
Everybody is, and that's everybody's reaction.
Yeah.
Is oh she's too young to do this, right?
Right.
Of course, I've heard that before, but she's too young to do this, and then she blows you away.
Yeah.
So we're going to be fine. They've acted as basically co-city administrators. They have different strengths, but both of them have an innate knack at ensuring everything has their finger on it. They don't let anything fall. They stay on top of everything. They're very good at that. I think from a management standpoint, that takes experience and will take time. But I've not seen her do anything that I would consider not good management
She's a
of people.
pro.
She is.
She's a pro.
You know, I'll tell you. So Julia was my student at Salisbury University in the environmental policy class that I taught in like 2010. And she was a senior. She was the president of the Student Government Association. I never thought anything of, seeing her or working with her again. Figured she'd
Right.
be off to Washington or something, and that'd be it. But she was so good. She was so whip smart that she was far and away the best student. Her and Haley Eflin, this other student who's the vice president, they used to sit next to each other. I'm sure talking about student government, not about my class. And they were just so smart. And Julia was so impressive then. And to now be working with her and to now have her as the acting city administrator is kind of a neat twist. But she's totally capable. She's totally capable.
I mean, I have no doubt. I mean, I'll be watching the meetings and I think, okay, they'll fumble around on this answer, or we'll have to get back to you with the answer. That kind of answer is about to come. And if Tom doesn't know, she has it already.
Yeah.
I mean, she's really good.
Absolutely. So, and we've got a lot of staff like that. We've got a lot of good people. I think there was an expectation that you have to come in and make your own team.
Right.
And at least coming from the military, I mean, that's not an option in a lot of cases. I mean, you go in and you shape the team, and they do what you tell them to do, and that's the way it's going to be.
Right.
And this isn't the military, but what I've found is that we've got an exceptional team. And we've made some structural changes. For example, that the Department of Housing and Community Development is a new thing for us.
Which is an efficiency move.
It was an
basically.
efficiency
Yeah.
move, a merger of two departments, but it actually created some opportunity to focus on new things, such as the youth development community centers that we're focusing on, as well as the homelessness issue, which has been something that going in, I'm not sure I was as confident that we would be able to make a major difference, but I've been shocked at the impact that we've had there, and very proud of the impact we've had there. And we put the right person in it. We put another young person, Theo Williams, who's just
Brilliant guy.
really is, really is.
He's too smart. He
is.
scares me. He's
I
too
know,
smart.
I know. Yeah, I just don't want him to take my job yet. But Theo, where I think he's got some strong opinions that he has shared about things. What Theo does is he is an analyst who is so capable of studying an issue and every facet of an issue, and then digesting it and communicating in incredible detail what needs to happen, what should happen, and then coming up with creative solutions to the problem. And in the case of homelessness, we have, and we haven't talked about it much, but we have launched a Housing First program where the city essentially houses people. We have a voucher program,
Right.
and we are paying to house people. People who are chronically homeless, and we have about 100 chronically homeless people on the Lower Shore. And that means these are the people who have not had housing for a very long time. They haven't. It's not the recently lost a home or are about to, or or couch surfing, because those people in those situations, there are a lot of resources for. Salisbury Neighborhood Housing ends up working with a lot of those people to help stave off homelessness. We see a lot of programs like Joseph House that provide resources for them. We see a lot of places like the Christian Shelter in Halo who provide beds for people in those situations. But the chronically homeless are really just a chronic problem. I mean, and I don't mean that in a negative way, but it is a chronic problem. It is not getting better. It hasn't been getting better. And until you put a roof over their heads, it doesn't get better.
Tell me real quick about Robbie Sheehan and this youth initiative.
Sure. So we have launched the Youth Development Advisory Committee. This is chaired by Robbie Sheehan.
There's 800 people on this committee?
Yeah, about 800 people on the committee.
It's 80?
About 80 people.
Yeah.
Well, and here's what happened is I went big, 23 positions, I believe. I went big because I knew we'd need a lot of different people in the room to
You got
focus
everyone
on
in the
our
room.
kids.
You have
Get
everyone in the room
everybody
now.
in the room, right? I mean, we've got the superintendent of schools showing up to committee meetings.
Yeah.
I mean, which is a testament to her, of course.
Right.
And I think she's fantastic. And the president of the Wycomico County Council showing up to these committee meetings. It's incredible. I love it. I appreciate it. But what happened was, at every turn, somebody would say, "I want to be involved in that." What are you going to do? You're going to say, "No, you can't be involved in our efforts to respond to a need for our kids." So, of course, absolutely. And to now have been at 3 of the full committee meetings, and for there to be 75 plus at every single one of them over a 9-month time frame, it's pretty incredible. People are serious about it.
And all working toward the same goal. No one really knows exactly what to do. They've got ideas, but it's going to get them all focused.
And there's a huge piece of this that is kind of wrapping your arms around it. What do we need for our kids? If we see crime down 6% in the city in 1 year, we see arrests down 16% in the city. We see juvenile arrests up 13%. That's a problem.
Right.
That's a problem. We have a problem with our kids, and which means we got a problem with, us adults have a problem because it's a parenting issue,
right.
As much as it is anything else. But you can't just say, and it is never enough to just say, well, the parents need to do a better job, because many of them won't. Many of them can't or aren't going to. So it is a community problem, and we do have to be a part of responding to it, even if it is out of the norm of what the city government typically does. And that's why addressing youth issues and addressing homelessness issues are critical, I believe, for Salisbury City government. We're going to deal with the problems, so let's respond to it on the front end. Let's make this a better place for our young people. Let's make this a place where people can be housed and are not sleeping on the railroad tracks. This can be a better place, and those are 2 things that can get us there.
What do we have to look forward to here our next year? Year 2 of Jake Day.
Well, we are going to continue to do more to plus up our police force, and thus to, I hope, continue to reduce crime. I'm not satisfied with where it's at. I want to keep going. We may be off those terrible lists, and we are, but let's keep going. We're going to continue to grow our economy, so you can expect to see a lot of focus and investment in entrepreneurship. We're going to be focusing a little bit on real estate development. And you might say, haven't you been focused on that all along, all this downtown stuff? Well, we're going to take a lot of those projects to the finish line. You'll see them before the Planning Commission. You'll see drawings, you'll see schematics, you'll see actual plans.
Lot 1 and Lot 10.
Lot 1, 11, and 10.
Right.
The marina will be the first thing.
Right. That's right.
The marina will be first.
Right.
500 Riverside, I hope. Lot 30. I think you'll see a lot of those things. You'll see a lot of infrastructure projects. You'll see plans for our rail trail. That's going to be moving forward.
I can't wait for that.
Yeah, we are going to work hard on that. The university has done such a fantastic job negotiating with Norfolk Southern that a lot of the hard work is done for us.
Well, when I was a kid, I used to live up in North Salisbury, and I went to Y Middle now. We'd walk on the railroad track. We went everywhere on the railroad track. Now it's going to be a greenway, and it's perfect. It's like a main street for Salisbury.
Absolutely. So it's been the back of house. We're going to make it front of house.
Yeah.
We're going to, it's going to be there will be a trail. There will be landscaping. There will be lights. There will be signs. There will be benches and trash cans.
Great.
And that's just an important part of what we have to do. We have to do. You'll see us continue. We are about to award the bid for the traffic study and design of the traffic circle.
I'm really excited about this.
At Riverside and Mill, and people are torn on it. But here's the thing, from a traffic management standpoint, it's not going to get worse than it is over
Right.
there. And from an aesthetic standpoint, I really believe that the Mill Street entrance into the city off of Route 50 can be a lot better.
He's our mayor. He's Jake Day, and we're so happy to have him here at PAC 14. He's a busy guy, and no one knows how he gets it done. How do you get it done?
No sleep.
I'm Greg Bassett from the Salisbury Independent Newspaper. Another edition of One on One right here on PAC 14.
First Shore Federal is proud to support PAC 14 and one-on-one. We'd encourage every business to support PAC 14 and pick a program and support it, and let's make a difference.